I'm Ace of Spades. Welcome to Goblin-Inc. I'm here with Sanctum, also from the Goblin Cave, and today we're gonna talk about Lightning Arrow. How you doing, Sanctum?
I'm doing good. Had some fun with League Start.
We
found the
had
mirror.
we had a good league start. I think we farmed about 3 to 4 mirrors on the about 4 mirrors by the end of the second day.
Yeah, we sell our gear, yeah, for sure.
I think one of the things that helped us a lot was how they put like some popular streamers like Jungron and Fabgam put Amazon in B tier, and it just was really cheap to get like anything with accuracy. What do you think about that?
Yeah, for sure, especially the bow, right? Because the accuracy nodes from the Amazon on the bow give you so much damage early game, and they were so cheap because no one was going Amazon. I think it was 2% play rate.
The fact that and you can get the accuracy runes, and you can get 500 like accuracy, so that's 720 accuracy or so, 700 accuracy, so that's 140 damage, like physical damage. It's so insane. But I think one of the main thing that when I was watching like their videos talking about why they would put Amazon in B tier, they said that Deadeye was better that season than Amazon, and that's crazy. I think they just stopped playing the game and they didn't really know how the meta evolved, because they never talked about the life leech node. What do you think about that?
Which is it's the strongest part in the entire build actually for Amazon.
So
it's literally the strongest part of Amazon, and no one was talking about it somehow.
yeah, so the node gives you the ability to life leech recovers based on elemental damage as well as physical damage, meaning that you can run the Essential Sanguish, which, if you ask me like what makes a build like the strongest, is like, can I play like an ape or I can't? Like
Exactly.
Can I face tank the game and go, or like do I have to like because you can't do juiced maps, I think, with maybe if you have like mirror tier gear and guaranteed to not die. The only way you can do that is like Lich is so OP. Like, I don't get it.
And it's even better now, because last season we had Eternal Youth, which would make our health potions give us a lot of ES. But now it's gone, and they introduced Deflect, right?
Yeah.
And they made Evasion able to basically give you acrobatics, but Deflect can't actually reach 100%. So eventually, you're gonna get hit and you're gonna die, unless you have a really high ES pool. But on Deadeye, how are you gonna recover that ES pool? Because you don't have Leech. Ghost Lance is not
exactly.
enough. It's only gonna recover like 1.5k, 1k. You just die. What do? You just die. There's no way you can live.
I have no idea why they would put the strongest thing in the game in. I don't see what anything would be better than Lich. Like being able to. If it reminds me of like Path of Exile 1, like the early seasons where like you could ES Lich.
Yeah, when you leech more than you get hit. And
with kinetic blast and just fucking tank everything. Yeah.
Exactly. It literally feels the same way almost.
Yep. So let's maybe talk a little bit about how was your experience playing the build leveling. What did you do?
So for leveling, I went grenades. Initially, I had the plan to swap to Lightning Arrow, which is what you did early on when we got Dual String. But honestly, grenades got buffed so much with the Rapid Shot nerf.
Yeah.
The Rapid Shot buff, that I just kept playing grenades. It just felt so good until level 55 when I got my twin bow. Then I swapped and it was all perfect.
Maybe the editor can show like the leveling guide on screen from Mobiletics that we used. So yeah, I practiced grenades actually, and you were playing Lightning Arrow leveling. We found that grenades was better at leveling, and I tried to switch early, but Lightning Arrow wasn't great leveling till 55. I think 55 is the right spot.
It got some stealth nerfs. Innervate couldn't go on Herald Thunder.
Yeah, that big one, that's 35% damage.
Yeah, that's a big one. So, and I think the Amazon crit node was bugged at the start. So
yeah,
that was not great, you know. And yeah.
Let's go over the build and how it functions, I guess.
Sure.
Okay, so do you want to talk a little bit about the Lightning Arrow setup for skill gems, and what do you think as a party player should go for?
Yeah, so one big part, and the reason why we initially wanted to switch to Lightning Arrow early on world leveling is that Fork, which you now get in Act 3, is extremely strong for clear. I think that's a build enabling support gem. So Fork is really strong, right? And we also use Martial Tempo. Martial Tempo got nerfed quite a bit. It's not a great support gem, but you need it because the faster you attack,
the faster you move.
The faster you move, you need it. It's mandatory. So you go Martial Temple, Fork, and then we just get the best damage gems, right? Primal Armament, Innervate, you got to put Innervate on your Lightning Arrow because
Of
it no
course.
longer can go on Herald of Thunder.
And then
which,
it would buff. It would still buff your rod, so it's like you have like
also buff
an
your
an
rods.
extra gem on your rod.
Exactly, so it's worth it.
In our
And
guide, we're gonna have like a version of the build with raw and one without. Without raw, it's gonna be still life based, so like no CI, and it's gonna be beginner friendly. That's the one we used till we got. Also, like we are not gonna have Rakata's flow, for example, in the early mid game build, I guess. And Lightning Arrow really pops off at 55. Do you wanna tell exactly why 55 is the perfect number to switch?
So at 55, you get Twimbo, right?
Yeah.
So +1 arrow is insanely important for Lightning Arrow. First of all, because if you don't have 2 arrows going, you don't have any AOE. But also, when you apply more rods at the same time, it's easier to burst targets, right? Because let's say a rare appears on the map, you don't have time to pop 20 rods at once, right? When you have 2 arrows, it just happens, it's twice as fast. And then for bosses, it takes twice, half as much time to put them down, and bosses move. It's just too good, right?
Yeah.
And so there's Twimbo, there's Fork,
which is level 55, yeah.
Well, Fork used to be 55, now it's about like 35.
Oh, that's when I switched, yeah.
And then you also, at that point, you also have Tornado Shot, which you get at level 41. And that's all you need, really, for the build to become online.
Tornado Shot is really strong. It makes your attacks chain through when you shoot through it.
Yeah, and
you
actually,
can see the difference.
Reminds me of a really important point we gotta make. On bosses, you swap chain instead of fork, so that you chain even more from the Tornado Shot, and you essentially blow up all your 20 rods instantly, basically.
Yeah, so what you do is like you place your rods, even though you're using barrage, and then you do Tornado Shot in front of you, and then you just blast all your rods away. Exactly. Just like that. And I think it's good because in the interludes, the bosses are actually quite hard, especially the end of Act 2 interlude boss, which I think maybe the editor can show like how I killed it. I think I have the clip. You can kill it in the corner. That's the toughest boss in the campaign. So you play grenades up till level 55, then you switch to from 55 when you get to the new bow, you switch to Lightning Arrow, and then everything is easy peasy.
Yep, correct.
So right now I am using Rakata's flow, but actually I just bought it right now. Normally I was using rapid attacks, and when you play with rapid attacks, you would run with a little bit of pen, just in case enemies on the map have pen.
Yeah.
So you have to run this node, and then of course you're gonna have to run Elemental Weakness for bosses, which means you have to dismount. You're not gonna be running raw, of course, on the mid-game build. You're gonna have to run Elemental Weakness so you can reduce enemy resistances. Let's go to all our skill gems. So we have Lightning Arrow, we talked about it. The switch of chain to bosses. Of course, Innervate makes sense. What would be the first skill gems you put on Lightning Arrow? I guess it would be...
Martial Temple. Fork. Primal Armament. Well, I guess it's called Elemental Armament now. Then Innervate. And then last gem, I think Endgame, I used Ambush for 100% crit chance. So anytime I fire Lightning Arrow, I just one-shot any enemy. But before that, I would use either, well, if I'm on top of Roa, Deliberation. If I'm not on top of the Roa, Lightning Infusion. One of those. You gotta check which one's more damage on your build, but it's either one of those.
It depends on what you have exactly. And then eventually, like late game, Rakata flow over the rapid attacks.
Yeah, rapid attacks.
Then on Lightning Raw, also like when you're gonna be running Raw, of course the minion pact is completely broken, which we're gonna talk about Raw later. Yeah. The buffs Raw are crazy.
Yeah, they are.
Lightning Rod, we have, I guess, Lightning Fusion first. What are you running on it? I have Lightning Attunement, Elemental Armament. I'm running the tier 3 Elemental Armament actually on the rods. That's if you can chill and ignite.
Chill and ignite, which you only need some cold damage and fire damage to apply the minimum amount. Right? I think if you're playing solo, because we played in a party later on with Ruse and the boys.
You just play
if you're playing, you play the normal one probably until endgame. But if you can't play all 3, you might as well go. It's free damage,
And then I guess you have Elemental Focus, Overextend, and then the final gem, I guess. By the time you have a 6th link, you probably switch to Raw and you have Minion Pact too, which is insane.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because, supported skills remove 100% of your maximum life from nearby minions. You have CI, you only remove 1 life from the Raw, and GG. I guess this is a good time to bring up the Raw up and talk about it before we show the Latin.
Which is also buffed.
The Raw is insane now. They buffed it. So Elemental Army, for elemental resistances, of course. The Brutus Brain, which replaces the Myth. What is it called? Myth Shield? Yeah.
Meat shield, yeah.
100% more life on your raw. Insane tankiness. Loyalty. So it's another 10% damage reduction you take. And Minion Master +1 level to support the minions. You can put it on last. And then you take 1 point here for stun and ailment threshold from energy shield. And that's all you need to never get stunned on the raw. We don't know if that's a bug or not. But
I think it is. I think it is, but
they haven't removed. They probably don't know about it. So shh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were there for all the fun. Then, well, elemental weakness, of course. If you don't have Rakata's Flow for bosses, Curse Ground, Item Curse, Magnified Area, and Expanse. So I can show how it looks. It's pretty big. Looks beautiful. Then, I guess we can talk about. Let's finish quickly all the skill gems. Yes. So, Wind Dancer, I like to run it with Precision if you have Extra Spirit, but the Magnified Area, Close Combat, and Punch Through, so you do more damage after the enemies get knocked back. Herald of Thunder got nerfed, because you cannot run Innovate anymore, so you run it full damage with Area, with Elemental Focus, Magnified Effect, Primal Armament, and Lightning Attunement. The Stormcaller Aura is the new way we apply Shock Magnitude. This is your weapon swap setup. I think we can show a little bit about it.
And now you can actually use your same weapon and quiver for both weapon sets, which is really nice for this.
By using right click, you can see the top, you can clear and then also or like lock your weapon to both weapon set 1 and 2. So in weapon set 2, where we have the Stormcaller, we have all possible magnitude of shock, which is exactly 24 points. So all of those and all of those. In total, I don't know how much shock magnitude is, but it's about like a 70% shock, something like that we get.
Yeah, I think it's 70%, and if you do Voltaic Mark, you get to 100%.
Yeah, but we don't run Voltaic Mark. Okay, like you can run it if you have slots for it, but we think that it's too annoying to use and wastes too much time on bosses and makes it likely that the boss is gonna move away from your rods. I think it's better to just blast.
I agree 100%. I didn't enjoy using it.
Yeah, it's one more button for the combo and the stroll. And then, yeah, so we have the weapon swap, of course, is gonna be on the planner. Tornado Shot, we have Overabundance, Prolonged Duration, so you can have 2 of them. Culling Strike to cool the bosses, and last, if you have an extra slot, Rapid Attacks. For Barrage, they nerfed Barrage a lot. You can run many less gems now on it. So pretty much just cooldown recovery and rapid casting, right?
Yeah, I also include Second Wind. I don't know if I ever used the second Barrage use, but I guess that you might as well, because there's no point not using it.
It doesn't increase the cooldown of the skill.
Yeah, but you get to use this, and since you don't use it often, so it ends up working well. I think it doesn't really matter much, honestly.
That makes a lot of sense. What is it called?
Second Wind.
Oh yeah, Second Wind 2, right? There's also Second Wind 3.
Oh, I think Second Wind 3 is the one that heals you also. Which I don't know if it's useful. I guess we're CI. So. Wait, no, doesn't that work with Leech? I don't know. I have to test it.
Well, we'll check it and put it up in the data planner. Voltaic Mark is the last thing. I don't use it. You can if you want. You can do duration on it, I guess. But and for Stormcaller Aura, we didn't talk about the setup, but it's a really important one actually. So Overcharge, which reflects the shock back to you, and then Commiserate, which removes the shock that you have to increase the magnitude of the ailment on the enemy. So this is an incredible combo. And then we have Lightning Exposure with more Potent Exposure. If you can't shock bosses, just remove Potent Exposure and get 100% more shock. Stormcaller Arrow has a very high chance to shock base, 500 more chance. So adding 100% more chance isn't really a big deal, because it's not doubling your shock. Maybe adding damage actually would be better than 100% more, probably by 5%. Let's go over the gear. We have obviously very good gear. The clips that you see in the opening video are played with this Gemini bow that has additional arrows, and we got it at the end of the night, though, to be fair. Only played 2 hours with it, but enough to record some funny footage. Other than that, this is what we were clearing a super juiced map with. So I think Sanctum is a very similar bow. Do you want to talk a little bit about the stats that are priority for Amazon and why?
Yeah, sure. So ideally, you have a lot of accuracy on our bow. If I remember correctly, your bow does not have that much, but it has some.
I have 500.
So you take advantage.
On this is the old bow.
Yeah. Oh, the old bow. Yeah. So you want high accuracy to take advantage of the node called penetrate, because it converts 25% of the accuracy into added physical damage.
Yeah.
Right? So you want high accuracy. That's really important.
Also, it's cheap because John Gron made the build at B tier. Thank you, John Gron.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and then something that's really underrated, especially in Amazon, is crit chance is really important. Like we found like we were looking for upgrades and we put it on, and the bow would lower our damage. We're like, how's this going on? It was the crit chance. Like when you have a bow with 4%, 5% crit chance, it beats some bows that seem to have way more DPS, right?
Yeah, and the thing is
that's actually something. Yeah.
Deadeye can't really go critical hit chance early because you need perfect.
Cannot.
You can't.
They cannot.
Only Amazon can. Yeah, even after the nerf, it's still OP. Like and it's so much better early because you can get your build online earlier. No one cares about mirror tier. Like no one. I don't care that Deadeye is better when I have mirror tier gear, because when I have mirror tier gear, I have so much damage that anything is irrelevant.
I actually don't think it's even better in mirror tier gear, but that's up for debate.
Yeah, that's up for debate.
It's just never better.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Because you cannot run the insignia. Yeah.
Exactly.
So crit chance in accuracy are the two things you're looking for on your mid game, and that's the thing. They don't. Sorry, do you wanna go ahead?
No, I was gonna say, don't get fooled by trying to find a physical bow, right? Don't.
Yeah.
Because like even a bow of lightning damage, fire damage, cold damage, if you have the accuracy and the crit chance, it's gonna be alright, right?
Yeah.
And then you just want good affixes. Don't get fooled for the perfect physical bow, which sells for twice as much. You're just wasting your currency. That's for Giga Endgame.
Or
just get exactly.
It's so much cheaper to get this because Deadeye players don't want critical hit chance on their bow early because they can't go to critical hit chance. So you're gonna get a bow with critical hit chance and accuracy on it that Deadeye is. No one plays Deadeye wants that, and that's gonna change your life. On top of that, because you're scaling accuracy, you're also getting more attack speed, and accuracy got buffed, so we're getting more accuracy this season. Which means more attack speed, which means you are not as slow down as you play the game, and just the build feels better to play. It's a smoother gameplay.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And then, look, it's not easy to get it. It makes the bows a lot more expensive, but if you can get +1 arrow, and then very much later on, +2 arrows, it just makes a huge difference.
Of course.
It really does. It really does.
And then, I don't know if you're checking my stream, but Essential Sanguish, you want to get it with 2 sockets if possible, but whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
Life Leech converts to Energy Shield, kind of the reason why the build is called VAMPAZON, because you're vamping up. Let's talk about the gear, and if you want ES or ES evasion on your gear. What do you think about that?
Okay, so on your chest, honestly, you can go either way. I think ES chest, this league, are cheaper, so it's maybe more accessible, and I'm pretty sure that's what you did, right? You went that route. I went the ES evasion route. It's just the items we got, we kind of split them, you know. But I think ES is a cheaper option. I think evasion ES is actually the better option.
Yeah, but it's just
slightly
more expensive for some reason. Yeah,
it's more expensive. One thing that's really nice about the the evasion energy shield items is that there's a new affix called gain deflection rating equal to 28% of evasion rating, which is a new stat. Which basically what happens is that when you don't evade, you have a chance to reduce the damage you take by 40%.
Yeah.
And just having one roll of that,
that's all you need.
That on your gear, it's all you need, and it gives you basically 10 to 15% damage reduction just with one affix.
That's also
so you really want one.
Also why Subterfuge Mask and having like an ES helm, it's so strong, is because having just a little bit of evasion, you gain that value at the beginning when the stats scales up so quickly that it's just worth having one roll of it. So for helm, I think there's no contest. You want to have a full ES helmet, and then you want to get Subterfuge mask on it. For boots, it can go either way. I think you want to have
fine.
Yeah, ES evasion or ES boots are fine. And for amulet, you want to have a defensive amulet with some spirit on it. That's all we really need.
Well, you need 50 spirit to equip the raw, right? Until you don't have 50 spirit somehow.
You can equip the raw. You only need 30.
You only need 30, you only need 30 because we don't need ghost dance anymore. We're Chad Amazons.
With 50 you can with 50 spirit you can have ghost dance and raw. And if you don't have the spirit, you can have without raw, which I think is like you know, it's gonna be pretty much like the mid-game build we're gonna have on the planner. The one without raw, the one without CI, that is gonna have a life, of course. For
yeah, I would say in the amulet, the most important stats are, you know, weirdly enough, the energy shield matters a lot on the amulet. It actually boosts your energy shield by quite a lot, more than you would expect.
Yep. Let's see.
The spirit, obviously, as we said, and the level 2 projectile skills is really, really nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't get it, but it's really nice.
For rings, you want to make sure to have one that has physical attack damages life. You don't really need mana leech anymore, because I think my mana is fine. If you have a mana leech roll and you have mana problems, you can always go for Walker of the Wilds, and then you mana leech based on elemental damage types, and then you have infinite mana. But I didn't have any problems with Flask. But I'm sure it feels better to play with mana leech if you have it.
I actually tried it for a bit. It felt nice. I never had to pay attention to my mana. Is it needed? Is it worth 2 points? I mean, probably not. But if you're a lazy person, you just want to blast, you know, chill, sure, take it. Nothing wrong with that.
Again, rings with accuracy are super cheap compared to rings with... and then accuracy gives us attack speed and will give us critical hit chance. So, for us, it's a good start. Then, for the quiver, so... Attack speed, projectile speed is good. Accuracy is great for us, of course. So it's another thing that people don't really want is quivers with accuracy, so we can capitalize on that. The thing that is important, eventually endgame, is +2 level of projectile skills. And I think now it's... In a second you will know why. In a second we're gonna go on POB and we'll show you the full endgame setup, which we get +1 more projectile with a jewel.
Yep.
Ingenuity belt. When you have CI, before CI you want to run resistances.
If you're playing solo, I would use Headhunter. Headhunter is one of the most broken items in the game. It used to be 20 seconds when you kill a rare monster, you gain it modifiers, but now it's 60 seconds. So essentially, you start accumulating more and more modifiers and more attack speed and more movement speed and more damage and more tankiness, and essentially you become a raid boss. So if you're playing solo, Headhunter. Sadly, we
maybe
can't
even
do
party.
it in a party.
Yeah, can try.
But it's inconsistent in a party.
Yeah.
So yeah.
For charms, they don't have to be unique, but they can just be the normal version of them. So you want to have the ignite one, or you want to, well, you have the one that grants you rage when you take fire damage. That's good, of course, I guess, yeah. And you don't lose rage with the blood of the warrior. This is again a CI flask. You're not gonna run this unless you have CI, but this makes you not lose rage and you gain rage when you get hit. But I think important charms to have is one for ignite the ground. Whenever there's like ignite mob, so I keep that in my inventory. One for frozen when you get frozen, and if you have the nascent hope towing charm, it's good because you recharge your ES. And of course, this one removes slow, it removes temporal chains, and also against chill grounds. So this is very powerful. If you don't have that, you just run a silver charm. In fact, that's what I run all day yesterday. The stun charm you're gonna run if you don't have raw. Pretty much. Yeah. And let's go a little bit into POB, I guess, and we show the final endgame setup. So do you want to talk to us about the choice for jewels and why you have them?
Yeah. So I guess we can talk about the Megalomaniac first.
Okay.
Which is pretty interesting. So Megalomaniac, so the #1 priority would be Wrap Quiver. That node alone gives you 20% damage. Well, sorry, 10% damage because what happens when you get 20% increased bonuses from your quiver is that when you add it to Master Fletching, which gives you 20%, and the nodes below, which gives you 12%, you reach 50%.
So this is 20 plus 30%, 50% means that we get +1 projectiles.
Yeah, because your quiver has 2, one, times 50%, +1 projectiles, and that's 10% more damage. Well, without all the stats you get from your quiver, so it's really strong.
That makes perfect sense.
If you're a Chad and you can also get another useful stat like Patient Barrier, which gives you 60%, yes, you know, I'm happy for you. But for most people, just try to get Wrap Quiver. Obviously, any good stat you can get on your Megalomaniac is nice. You know, one good notable node is worth the jewel swap.
Yeah, but we only really need that one on the Megalomaniac. And I don't think many people know about it.
Yeah, not many people do, actually.
Yeah.
The other unique jewel we use in the endgame setup is the Against the Darkness, right?
Yeah.
And we use it with extra lightning is the best one by far, and then the second one is the best are extra cold, extra fire, extra
chaos.
Extra chaos probably is the best one. Slightly maybe extra cold if it lets you proc the 3 elements for your elemental armament for your lightning rod, but one of those, and then you really buff it because there's so many nodes around that spot. And these are all good nodes too. They're not bad nodes. You're not just taking random nodes. They're all good nodes. You can even take freedom of movement if you have more points, which is 20% evasion.
Which we can,
yeah. So against darkness, a lot of damage.
And if
this is a new jewel.
If you cannot get the two notable passive skills, you want to get one and then another notable bonus. Like I think it's spirit. You can get some spirit from notables. I don't remember.
Yeah, you can get spirit. I don't think we really can use much spirit because we're kind of out of skill slots because they actually removed one. It used to be 10 and now it's 9. So it gets a bit awkward. I guess with Raketa's flow, we can drop conductivity.
Yeah.
And maybe do something with that.
Yeah.
Something to test, and we'll update the planner, of course.
Then
we'll make a new video in the future.
We have a time lost emerald because we have a really powerful node here with a lot of nodes, just the crit cluster. So anything that gives you damage and then scales based on notable is nice. You can have a normal jewel here, but this is of course nice. You get more damage against rare and unique enemies per small passive nodes. It's a lot of damage. We have 2, 4, 5, so it's 15. And then I think we have the Prism of Belief, +2 of level of lightning or skills, which gives us +1 chain, I believe, right?
Yeah, so, well, you can go up to +3, but yeah, I forget if it's at level 28 or level 29. I have to double check that.
28, I believe.
But essentially, 28. At level 28, so what happens with lightning arrows? Lightning arrow shoots a shot, which generates beams, and those beams then chain. And when you get to level 28 lightning arrow, it generates another beam. So essentially, you're increasing your AOE by 20%.
Yeah.
But more 25%.
Yeah, that's insane. That's a lot of damage.
Of course.
Yeah.
Break those levels.
Yeah.
More damage.
So it's very important to reach level 28 of lightning arrow. And if it's wrong about it, we're gonna put the correct number on the guide. But I think we tested it, and it was level 28, right? Unless they changed it.
We did test it. Yeah, unless they changed it.
Okay.
And the last one is the new jewel, which is fucking. It's such an insane jewel.
Oh yeah. It's this one, right?
Heart
of the Well is incredible. So you can get so much extra damage from it. And then you can get increased evasion rating or increase the energy shield from equipped body armor. We're gonna leave a link in the guide for like a buy order on PoE2 trade, because it can have a lot of different stats. It's just a really powerful jewel, and it's not that expensive. It's way cheaper than Against the Darkness, because that's a lot easier to drop it, and it has incredible bonuses. It can have critical damage, critical hit chance, damage of all types of elements, including chaos, increase the bonuses from body armor. Very powerful.
Yeah, crit damage, movement speed, crit chance. It has such good stats.
And here, we have our weapon swap, where we take all the magnitude of shock on weapons at 2 for the Stormcaller arrow, and then we take damage for, lightning rod setup. Ascendancy, we're taking for the first 2 things you need to take is penetrate and critical strike. That's your like early game damage, and then you take as your third ascendancy Mystic Harvest, because man, running with Insignia's Sangways is the best thing. You want to get that before the 20% damage buff.
That's such an insane power spec. That moment when you get Mystic Harvest, you have some ES. Because it kind of coincides when you can get some ES,
Yeah.
And you get these Insignia Sangways, and suddenly you're a raid tank. You're a raid boss. Can't die. It's insane.
And I think that's everything. I think we went over the entire build and the reasoning for what we have. Planner for it, but pretty much that, you should be already be one-shotting bosses from campaign with any cheap level 55 bow you find, as long as that's 2 hours on it.
Definitely.
Guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. And if you guys want to join the guild Discord, there's gonna be a link in the description, and also on Sanctum's stream.
Yeah, ask any questions you want. I check the chat pretty often, and if there's any questions, I always
or in the guild Discord chat as well.
Yep. Anywhere you want.
See you in the next video.